Okay, we are going to look at the GraphCalc app, which is like the TI-84. A lot of keys that are similar, but for those of you that don't have the calculator, this will be really helpful. Okay, you see you have the home screen, you have your y equals, and you have the second mode feature. You want to make sure that you're on normal, not psi or eng, and your decimal is not a number, it's at float. Okay, it's asking you if you want to change it. Let's make sure it's on float. Okay. That way, if it's on float, it will vary as needed. Okay, back to the home screen. We have the functionality. You want to type in numbers. You want to do second window. All of the same things as the TI-84. So this window screen, you want to make sure your X min, X max, -10 to +10, Y min, Y max, also -10 to +10. Now, if you press the Y equals key, you will get to your Y functions. Here I have some absolute value examples. I will clear them out. Nope, didn't want to stop the recording. I'm going to clear it, and I will re-enter the absolute values that I want. I'm going to press second, catalog. As we talked the other day, it will either give me the absolute value bars or it will give me the letters ABS with parentheses. Depending on your calculator, you might have one or the other. Okay, so if we enter x plus 2 inside the absolute value bars, it's still giving me an arrow key. Let's get outside of the absolute value bars, so it just gives me x plus 2. y1 equals the absolute value of x plus 2. Now you see the green plus sign all the way to the left. That tells me that this graph is selected. Now, once I know what I want, see here, this can happen. I have two graphs here. Why do I have two graphs? I don't want two graphs. Go back to the home screen. You press second quit. But to clear it, you want to press second clear. Gives me the clear draw feature. I press that, and my graph is completely clear, emptied out. Now I can go back to my Y1. I get the plus sign, and I can press graph, and there it is. On my graph, if you test out some numbers, zoom in a little bit, if x is -2, y is in fact 0. That makes sense. In order to zoom in and out, you pinch the screen, you spread your fingers back and forth, you can slide up, slide down, you find yourself all of a sudden, where are my x and y axes? Press zoom standard, takes you back to your -10 to +10, -10 to +10. Okay. Now, we have our graph here. We can do some other things. We want to be able to do the second trace feature, that functionality that we saw on the TI-84. And, sorry, it was just taking me a minute to recall how to do it on this calculator. You want to tap on the graph itself. Don't tap below it. Don't tap near it. Actually tap the graph, and you can slide up and down, and you'll see the function, the values changing as you go up and down the function. Now, as you slide up and down further, you will get to an interesting point. See, it turns red. That's a 0. What does that mean? Where y equals 0. That's a 0 of this graph. And it makes sense. When x is -2, y is 0. Test it out. We can keep sliding up and down. We slide to the right, and we saw the y-intercept. That's an interesting point. What's the y-intercept? When x is 0. Test it out. If x is 0, y is 2, and we can keep sliding back and forth on our function. Okay, also within this feature, we can also actually find a specific value. If I tap the graph, and I want to know when x is a certain value, can I find it? Yes, but I could also slide back and forth. So if x is 1.8 whatever, y is 3.8 whatever. Okay? And I can actually enter a specific value. Let's say I were to enter, I don't know, 18. No, let's not say 18. Let's pick something different. Something within our x min and x max. Let's pick x equals 8. What does y equal when x is 8? X min I could leave, and I press enter. X is 8, y is 10. Perfect. That makes sense. That's what we expect. Okay, second quit takes you back to the home screen.